CNN10 script, Friday, March 8th, 2024. Script 102. Elon Musk's enrolling implant chip in its first human brain, February 1st, 2024. Listen and repeat.
Hello, lovely people.
Hello, lovely people. Let's rise up, lock in, and take the next 10 minutes to
fuel our minds.
It's Thursday, February 1st.
First, I'm Koi Wire.
I'm Koi Wire.
This is CNN10.
This is CNN10.
Happy Friday Eve.
Happy Friday Eve.
February marks
2 years
since Russian
President Vladimir Putin first ordered his troops into Ukraine for what he called a special military operation to demilitarize the country. According to U.S. intelligence assessment, Russia has lost 87% of the 360,000 active duty ground troops it had prior to the start of the war.
But they persist. Ukraine
remains heavily dependent upon support in the form of funding and munitions from its Western allies, including the United States. But further U.S. support is not guaranteed as Congress remains divided on sending more taxpayer dollars to fund Ukraine's war efforts. As CNN Fred Pliken explains, the war is as intense as ever and seemingly far from over. In 2024, Russia's war against Ukraine is as brutal as it ever has been. Both sides are still taking heavy casualties, and the battles are ferocious. The action has somewhat shifted, though, from the south of the country, more towards the southeast and the east of the country. The Russians have unleashed another massive aerial campaign against sites here in Ukraine using drones, ballistic missiles, and also cruise missiles. The Ukrainians, though, now also fighting back, hitting some targets in Russia, like for instance the Belgorod region, where there have been some evacuations.
Western military support for Ukraine
will continue to be essential for the country, but it is far from a certain thing, especially from the United States, where U.S. Congress still has not okayed further military aid for Ukraine. There is the European Union, where a decision on further military aid was blocked by the Hungarians. So it's unclear when exactly that could come through, even though the countries themselves, the single countries, could continue to give Ukraine military aid and are continuing to do so.
The Russians certainly seem to have
replenished their ranks after taking heavy losses in 2023. The Russians also appear to have new tanks and armored vehicles.
One of the other things
that we are seeing is that the Russians are firing a lot of artillery on the front line, and the different picture for the Ukrainians, especially ammunition, is something that they are having a lot of trouble with. They certainly need those replenishment.
Pop quiz,
hot shot.
Which of these words
is associated with pigs? Borbol. Bovine. Pachyderm. Porcine.
If you pondered
porcine,
porcine, put your hooves up.
put your hooves up.
While Borble's a type
While Bobo is a type of
of
dog,
bovine relates to
bovine relates to cattle,
and
and
pachyderms are
pachyderms are
thick-skinned
thick-skinned,
hoofed animals like
hoofed animals like
elephants,
elephants, rhinos, and hippos.
Porcine relates
Porcine relates to
or
or
suggests
suggests
piggies.
piggies.
For our next story, we turn to a
For our next story, we turn to a controversial solution to an ongoing health dilemma, one for which
pigs may be the answer.
pigs may be the answer.
We're talking organ transplants.
We're talking organ transplants.
Now, each organ
Now,
inside
each organ inside our body
body
has a specific function, right?
and sometimes due to
And sometimes due to disease, accident, or other reasons,
it doesn't work properly
and needs replacement. So, during organ transplantation, surgeons carefully remove a healthy organ from a donor
and place it in the body of
and place it in the body of someone in
It can be
need.
difficult to find a matching organ
It can be difficult to find a matching organ
as there is a big
as
gap
there is a big gap between supply and demand for organs needed to save lives. But the company eGenesis is working on a solution that might end organ shortage in the future.
On their research
On their
farm,
research farm, they're raising pigs that could become organ donors in the future. CNN chief medical correspondent Sanjay Gupta got a first look at a facility few other people have seen before.